Out in the Wild West, there's one rule: if no one sings about a place in saloons, it means something happened there that folks would rather forget. Black Canyon was one of those places. No cacti grew there. No vultures circled above. Even the wind tried to go around it. But sometimes, deep at night, when the moon hung over the desert like a faded silver coin, you could hear hoofbeats. Slow. Heavy. Like someone riding, but in no hurry. The locals knew. The sheriff was riding. Cobb had faced who he was in life. Once, his name was Eli Graves. Tall as a telegraph post, quiet, with a stare that made outlaws swallow hard. He was the sheriff of Red Creek, a tiny town at the edge of the desert. 3 streets, 1 church, a saloon called the Drunken Coyote, and more trouble than dust. Eli wasn't a saint. He drank whiskey, played poker, and once broke the mayor's nose. But he never shot first. And he never let evil go unanswered. When the Crow brothers rode into town, butchers, thieves, and worse, Eli stood against them. He warned them just once. "Leave Red Creek by sundown, or I'll bury you." They laughed. That evening the town burned. Fire the night the sheriff died. The Crow brothers didn't just rob. They loved fear. Loved screams. Loved it when people begged. Eli fought like a devil in a man's skin. He shot 2, wounded another, but there were 6 of them. They caught him near the burning stables. Beat him with rifle stocks. Broke his ribs. Laughing, they dragged him to the canyon. "The sheriff ought to hang where folks can see the law is dead," said the eldest Crow. But they didn't hang him. They threw him, still barely alive, into an old mine deep inside Black Canyon, a place the natives warned about. The earth there does not accept the dead. The last thing Eli remembered was darkness, and a sound. Low. Deep. Like something breathing inside the earth itself. Coffin, he was meant to stay dead. Eli's body should have rotted among the stones. His bones should have turned to dust. His name should have faded away. But that night, something stirred in the depths of the canyon. Something old. Older than men. Older than the desert. Something that hated evil more than it loved death. When the first drops of Eli's blood touched the black stone, the ground trembled. The darkness in the mine thickened, and a cold breath passed through his broken lungs. His heart did not beat again, but his eyes opened. Man zombied the birth of the dead rider. He crawled out of the mine on the 3rd night. His skin was pale as ash. His lips black. One cheek torn open, teeth showing through split flesh. The bullet lodged in his chest was still there. He didn't breathe. Didn't blink. Didn't feel pain. But he remembered. Red Creek. Fire. Screams. The Crow brothers. His horse, an old bay named Rufus, stood at the edge of the canyon. Hadn't left in 3 days. When Eli approached, the horse didn't shy away. Animals always know what you are now. Eli climbed into the saddle and rode. Waxing crescent moon the first night of the hunt. He found the first Crow brother in a brothel in Riverbend. Drunk. Laughing. Bragging about throwing the sheriff into hell. When the door opened, no one heard footsteps. Eli stood in the doorway, a silhouette against the moonlight. "You," Crow muttered. "You're. The law ain't dead yet," the dead sheriff rasped. He fired once. The bullet went straight through Crow's forehead. Witnesses swore the lamps in the room went out on their own after the shot. Drop of blood, but he wasn't a monster. At first, people trembled at the rumors of the dead cowboy. But over time, they noticed something. He never touched the innocent. More than that. One night, a gang of raiders attacked a widow's farm. 2 children inside. The barn already burning when a rider emerged from the dark. One of the men shot him point blank. The bullet simply passed through. When the smoke cleared, 3 raiders were dead. 2 fled screaming about. The sheriff with the empty eyes. The widow later found a pouch of money on her porch. The same money the raiders had stolen. And a silver sheriff's star placed on top. Cactus, the call of Black Canyon. Over the years, the legend spread. He was seen in different towns, always where true evil appeared, not simple theft, but cruelty for pleasure. They say he cannot ride far from Black Canyon. Something holds him there. Something that gave him a second chance, and will take him back when the debt is paid. An old tribal shaman once said, "He is not cursed. He is a bargain." Candle the girl who wasn't afraid. One night, a little girl named Lizzie got lost in the desert. Her father rode for help, and she hid behind rocks, listening to coyotes howl. Then she saw the rider. Dead. Pale. Eyes like winter sky. "Are you Death?" she whispered. Eli looked at her for a long moment, then slowly shook his head. He removed his old sheriff's coat and wrapped it around her shoulders. Sat beside her until dawn, keeping predators away. When people arrived, he was gone. Only hoofprints remained, leading back toward Black Canyon. Skull and crossbones, the last crow. 10 years passed. Only one crow remained, Silas Crow. The worst of them. The one who ordered the sheriff thrown into the mine. He went mad with fear. Never slept. Moved from town to town. Kept a shotgun beside his bed. But you can't outrun fate. One night, during a raging sandstorm, someone knocked on his cabin door. Knock. 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 "Go away!" Crow screamed. The door slowly opened on its own. The sheriff stood in the doorway. Sand swirled around him but never touched him. "I'll pray. I'll change," Crow sobbed. "You had your chance in Red Creek," Eli said. The gunshot was the only sound in the storm. New moon, why he still rides. You'd think vengeance would set him free. All the crows were dead. But the dead sheriff did not vanish. Because evil did not vanish. He became something more than a man. More than the law. He became a reminder that even if justice falls, it can rise from the grave. Horse, the final legend. They say once a year, on a moonless night, a light appears near the edge of Black Canyon. Like a lantern glowing in the dark. If you get close, you can hear a voice. Horse. Tired. Not yet. Then a rider emerges from the darkness. His body should have turned to dust long ago. But he stays in the saddle. Rifle on his back. Sheriff's star on his chest. He seeks no glory. Wants no thanks. He looks for those who believe they can destroy lives without consequence. And when, in the desert night, you hear slow, heavy hoofbeats, do not be afraid if you are innocent. Be afraid if you are not. Because the dead sheriff of Black Canyon is still on duty. Cowbat-faced skull.